I'm very honored today, Tun, to have you, Tun, today in the session. And ladies, Datuk, ladies and gentlemen, we are fortunate today. We have very good speakers arranged by the organizer. We're going to hear Datuk Mukhris Mahathir, who need no introduction. He's now Deputy Minister of Trade, International Trade Industry. And also we're going to listen to Mr. Stuart Forbes. Mr. Stuart Forbes just added to the list, so his biodata is not a document. I elaborate later when his session, his turn comes up. And also we're going to have Dr. Kim Leng, who is Chief Economist of RAM. And you all have been given a copy of the write-up, the CVs of the people, biodata speakers. So I don't want to spend much time because I think we should listen to them. They have a lot to say, especially on this issue of foreign investments, how important they are to our economy now. And let me just say a few things about the background of this topic. I think Malaysia has definitely benefited a lot from foreign investment. No two ways about it. At a time when other countries were questioning whether it was good to promote private investment, because they displaced domestic entrepreneurship, but we forge ahead, we welcome them. And definitely they have contributed to the structuring of the economy. And Malaysia has endorsed definitely the importance of private investments. I was looking at some numbers. In the 90s and 80s and 90s, it constituted about almost 80% of our exports. It's tremendous assistance to our improvement in our balance of payment and structuring. Of course, with them come also other issues, which I think the speakers will definitely analyze, both theoretically as well as empirical observation that they may have on our economy. So, Tun, Datuk, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let me invite Datuk Mukhris to make his presentation.
Thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good morning. Salam satu Malaysia. Yang bahagia Tansi Sulaiman Mahbub. I'm sure it's Yang bahagia, so don't worry. We'll make it as painless as possible for the moderator. Chairman of MIDA and moderator for this session, Dr. Kim Leng, Managing Director and Chief Economist of RAM Consultancy Services, Somahat, Mr. Stuart Forbes, Executive Director of the Malaysian International Chamber of Commerce and Industry, honorable guests, Excellencies, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, I'd like to thank the organizers for the kind invitation for me to speak at this session. The question on whether FDIs still matter to Malaysia is pertinent and falls squarely under MITI's mandate. Therefore, allow me to briefly provide the background on the role of FDIs in our nation's transformation drive. Latest information according to UNCTAD's Global Investment Trends Monitor, published on the 17th of January 2011, shows that global foreign direct investment, or FDIs, inflows, this is globally again, remained stagnant in 2010 with a marginal growth of 1% to $1.12 trillion as compared to $1.1 trillion in 2009. Now, despite the stagnation of global FDI inflows, Malaysia continued to attract higher global FDI in 2010, surpassing the level recorded in 2009. FDI inflows into Malaysia increased significantly from $1.4 billion in 2009 to $9 billion in 2010. It is pertinent to note that Malaysia recorded the highest increase of FDI inflows at 542.9% compared to three other ASEAN countries, namely Indonesia at 162.7%, Singapore 122.7%, and Thailand 14.2%. Other than the two stimulus packages, totaling 67 billion ringgit in 2009, the Malaysian government has unveiled the new economic model, the government transformation program, and the economic transformation program, and also the 10th Malaysia Plan, to spur the economy and to ensure the nation takes a quantum leap into a high-income economy. And this would require boosting private investment, both foreign and domestic. The 10th Malaysia Plan calls for the private sector investments to grow at 12.8% per annum, or 115 billion ringgit per annum. And in this context, the ETP has identified 12 national key economic areas, or NKEAs. We're really into acronyms, ladies and gentlemen, so you have to keep up with me, yeah? Which have potential to generate high investments, namely oil, gas and energy, palm oil and related products, financial services, wholesale and retail, tourism, communications, content and infrastructure, education, electrical and electronics, business services, healthcare, agriculture, and Greater KL. FDI has assumed an important role in Malaysia's industrial and economic development over the last 4 decades. FDI has a positive impact on the economy in terms of contribution to GDP growth, trade and balance of payments, capital formation, employment, value-added activities, increased productivity and efficiency, as well as spillover effects such as the transfer of technology, establishment and growth of domestic companies, expansion of supporting industries, collaboration programs with local companies and institutions of higher learning, both private and public, and also development of services, sectors and benefits to utilities providers. In view of the importance of FDIs to the nation, the government will continue with its efforts to promote the inflows of FDI into the manufacturing and services sectors. However, for Malaysia to join the league of high-income economies against the backdrop of an increasingly competitive external environment, the government realizes the need to further liberalize its economic policies. And in this regard, the government has introduced several important measures to further liberalize the manufacturing and the services sectors to attract and increase foreign investments. Among the liberalization measures undertaken over the last few years include the deregulation of the investment guidelines administered by the Foreign Investment Committee, or FIC. The scope and functions of the FIC have been significantly limited. FIC's scope now involves fewer transactions, rules and conditions. And this is in line with the government's focus towards establishing a more conducive regulatory environment for the private sector to prosper by facilitating robust investment activities. Recognizing the growth potential in the services sector, the government has also liberalized a total of 27 services subsectors in the areas of computer and related services, health and social services, tourism, transport, sporting and other recreational services, business services, rental and leasing services without operators, and supporting and auxiliary services. Foreigners are now allowed to hold 100% equity in the 27 services subsectors. And going forward, the government will be progressively undertaking liberalization of other services subsectors in line with the international commitment under ASEAN Framework Agreement on Services, which is AFAS, and the General Agreement on Trade in Services of the WTO. So, ladies and gentlemen, MITI through MIDA as the Central Investment Promotion Agency of Malaysia will assume an important role in ensuring that there is a significant leap in investment activities in all growth areas, led by a more dynamic private sector to achieve the targets set under the 10th Malaysia Plan. MIDA will continue to intensify its efforts in identifying and attracting quality investments in the NKEA and non-NKEA within the manufacturing and services sectors.